Do you know that insurance agent chargebacks suck? Of course you do. That's why you're watching this video. What I'm going to be describing today are the 5 ways to prevent agent roll-up before it's too late. My name is David Duford. I own this channel. It's Insurance Agency Builders. The channel is dedicated to helping agency owners across the country build successful and profitable agencies quicker than I ever did, while avoiding the dumb mistakes that yours truly did. If you enjoy it, please subscribe. Also, check out insuranceagencybuilders.com. I got some free stuff over there for you that relates to building an agency. I haven't quite decided what it was at the filming of this, but go check it out. You'll see you'll like it, promise. Okay, great. So let's jump right in. 5 ways to avoid agent roll-up before it's too late. Number 1, hire smart. So here's the thing. A large reason why chargebacks happen is because you hire bad people, okay? There's really 2 types of chargebacks. There are chargebacks from agents that don't have good work ethics, or they don't sell right. They're just like not good people, or the kind that do bad things. And then you've got fraud, flat out people who are trying to rip you off, right? To me, I believe the fraud side of the business is the biggest intrinsic risk right now. That's probably 80% of the chargeback issues that we see in my agency, had over the last year until we fix that problem completely, and in other agencies as well. So we want to mitigate both of those or prevent both of those. And one of the ways in which you do that is the hiring process. So we want to make it hard for them to join you. That's the big thing. A lot of the chargeback roll-ups from fraud happens because you're too easy to work with. You can't wait to talk to this person. You got a pulse. I need to talk to you to join my amazing opportunity. Right? A little tongue-in-cheek here, but you get what I'm saying. You don't want to be too easy to work with. You want somebody to jump through hoops. You want it to be hard. You don't want to give them all of the commission levels. Why? Because people who are defrauding you, especially because that's the big one we want to mitigate, are looking for these easy access points. It's like seeing a house to rob with the door wide open and a treasure chest full of gold versus the house where the door's closed, but you can hear the barking dog behind it, right? Who are you going to steal from? The one with the door wide open, right? So you want to close the door, protect yourself. And one of the ways to do that is make it difficult to work with you. So have a smart hiring process. What we do at DeFord Insurance Group is we have an application process. It's lengthy. It takes time. It requires them to film a video. It sections out the people who aren't good fits for us. We then make them do an interview with one of our trainers, one of our managers. If they don't objectively meet being a 6 out of 10 or better, we fire them, or not fire them. We don't even recruit them. And this prevents a lot of the people that would join, including the fraudsters. They'll just go find an agency because there's so many of them out there that will recruit them because they sound halfway decent, but don't make them jump through hoops. So this is the big thing to prevent that. And then the other thing, of course, of that is to, when you hire good people that are good fits, you find this out through the agent application and interview process. So you're likely going to have better quality people working with you, right? Once you know more about what it is you're looking for and who's a good fit, and you can say yes to those that do and don't fit, you'll find that the ones that charge you back because they wrote bad business and are just deplorable people, you probably could have filtered them out if you had some metrics in place up front. So again, hiring smart, putting in some kind of obstacle before they join mitigates a lot of that risk of chargebacks. Number 2, limit advance cap. So I'm going to tell you about it. The biggest chargeback I got in 2022 was 60 grand with one company. And the problem with them, and there's a whole reasons why, the terrible application process, I'll probably talk about that in a minute, but their advance amount was $2,000, or I think it was $3,000, something like that. And inside of 20 applications or 30, something like that, I was up the creek with the 60 grand in chargebacks, right? Now, if you are working with carriers, you want to control that advance cap. Because if the advance cap was $3,000, but I made it $1,500, I would have cut my advance losses on the fraud debt in half, right? So it's very rare an agent needs $2,000 plus in advance cap. So what I recommend is that you do a $1,500 advance cap if you're on the life insurance side of the business. Again, because the chargebacks here are the biggest thing. You may even want to explore them for your annuities as well, even though that's a little bit less of a intrinsic chargeback risk as advance caps are with life insurance. So advance capping, making sure that you limit it. You can also, number 3, change from on-issue payments on advances to on first draft. So one of the ways that screwball agents do to screw you is they fake bank information stuff, and they'll get an upfront advance on fake information. And then now, the advance comes, they get paid, and by the time you pull the money out, because in a lot of life insurance businesses, buy now, pay later, the bank information's falsified and fake, and now you're in a position where it was just a fraudulent application. But if you have carriers that pay only on the first draft, on the successful collection of the premium, then you'll mitigate a lot of this fraud debt. And again, I talk a lot about that because that is the biggest way you're going to get screwed. If you're going to get screwed in this business, it's not off of the $1,000 or $2,000 roll up here and there from agents who just kind of, go away. It's the big, heavy ones that you got to be really the most concerned with, because those will take a chunk out of you. Now, so with that, the other issue, of course, if you put people on pay on first draft, is it slows down cash flow. So it may alter the effectiveness of recruiting agents and getting them paid quickly. I used to do it. I don't do it anymore, just for total clarity and transparency. But I used to do it for years. We would only do it on first draft. And incidentally, didn't have any fraud chargebacks. And most agents are fine. It just takes a couple of weeks. Then they get a huge banger paycheck that first week after the third rolls around for final expense. And they're cash flow positive. So it really only affects the front end, in my opinion, as opposed to the back end. And it forces agents to be a little bit more conservative. So even as I describe this, I might go back to that on some level with recruiting. Okay, so institute a new biz audit system. This is very, very important. We instituted this at DeFord Insurance Group. And this is really, I think, the biggest thing you can do. And you want to think about this like it's an insurance policy, right? So we all know why we get insurance. It's to protect and mitigate against potential for risk. And having somebody whose job is to call behind your new business, a percentage of it, to make sure that it's legit, is an easy way to prevent fraud. So, for example, when agents join and they write business, we are in the position of 25% of that new agent's business we're going to call on. And we're going to just tell the person, hey, we just want to say thank you for purchasing this plan, whatever company it is. We got you down as this much in coverage, this much premium. What questions you got? Have a nice day, bye. Very, very non-confrontational call. But what happens at times, if you are defrauded or something happens and you call on somebody like this, here's what happens. You call their number. If it's a fraudulent app, there ain't no phone number that works. Or the phone number goes to somebody who is not even related to it. Or when you start auditing and looking at the business, when you call the person, they're like, I never did that. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the bank information is inaccurate. There's all these little discrepancies that happen. And then if you have this happen to multiple ones, because the way most fraud works is that the agent defrauds like hard and strong for a short period of time, usually 30 days, until they're finally caught, and then they're terminated. So you can see a lot of this stuff come through, and then audit it and say, hey, catch it right as it's starting, and then pull their advances. And yeah, you'll still lose money, but not nearly as much like what I did. And they all do the same thing. They write these enormous size policies that max out the advance cap, their maximum coverage amounts. Like nobody writes the max amount of coverage all the time, every prospect. I've seen it too many times that these guys think they're creative. They're not. But the point is that if you have, like what we do now, an audit process to call on this book of business, you can catch this stuff right away and prevent so much agony financially so that it doesn't happen. Again, okay, and then the last thing here is stop working with dumb carriers. Okay, so this is big in the life insurance side. Again, most chargeback issues are on the life insurance side. There's a big trend in our business to make it too easy to do business, okay? And granted, a lot of our business now is virtual, it's remote, and the application processes are trying to accommodate an agent that doesn't work in person. So some issues need to be rectified, I think, as a whole in the life space where I'm specifically talking about, to make it easier to do business. But the process, it's gone too far. If it's too easy to do business, to the point where the client doesn't need to sign anything, or even verbally sign, you're asking for trouble as an agency owner. And again, it doesn't take half the agency population to be frauds. It takes just one or two. For example, there was an agency or agent last year from an agency owner I'm friends with say to me he had one agent rack up $250,000 in chargebacks with this one company that has no verbal authorization application. They just take a favorite color as the signature. Now think about that. Think about how terrible that is. And now they've got to carry the cost of that. And even if they don't pay that because there's some sort of, I don't know, insurance policy that protects them, they still have to hire attorneys to go after them. And there's all this emotional stress and things that detract from building your business. So the point is Get away from carriers if you're in the life side that don't have some sort of processes that force the client to verbally acknowledge that they did this, that they're a part of the process, or have bank verification or ID verification. Fraud is bad, guys. It's really bad. And it just takes one. That's all it takes. And so you have to act accordingly and put yourself in a position to protect you. So those are 5 simple strategies to protect against our chargeback roll-up. This can save you guys 6 figures in losses a year, no doubt, if you're running any kind of sizable agency. And even if it's not 6 figures, prevent you from prematurely ending your business because you get some huge roll-up. So a lot of these carriers, they just roll it up to you. They don't care. You got to be aware of that and be proactive. It's one extra layer of things that I wish I did that had I done it, we'd be making a lot more money right now. So I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. Again, check out insuranceagencybuilders.com if you're interested in getting some freebies on building your agency. Again, nothing to sell you. Not trying to recruit, just trying to help. All right, thanks, bye.